Right now, yesterday, Transport Minister Joe Maswangayi and the Minister of Police, Fikile Mbalula, met to discuss the feud between Uber and meter taxi drivers after months of violent incidents. An Uber driver died from burn wounds this week when his car was allegedly set alight by meter taxi drivers. Now, to discuss this tricky issue, I'm now joined by Kenny Niemach, who's the CEO of Yookoo Ride. And we're also going to be chatting to Tendai Chizema, who's an Uber driver. But just before that, let's just listen to what Minister Maswangayi had to say. Fikile Mbalula, rather, the police minister.
Enter of this violence. It is competition. It is competition. It is about the fact that Uber is too sophisticated and it has taken portion of the market away from the taxi drivers in terms of meter drivers. They are more expensive than Uber. And then Uber is accessible at all places. It can fetch you at your house even if you are a celebrity and you don't want to be seen that you don't have a car. Uber have restored dignity to such people. Because when you are a celebrity, you are on television, you don't want to be on a taxi. You want to be dignified. And Uber has brought that dignity. People, you see them jumping out of very expensive cars. Thank you to Uber. So it has restored the dignity of people practicing their celebrity status without being interrupted. And that is what Uber has brought. And the meter taxi, it has got identification. So.
All right, so that's the police minister, as charismatic as ever. Was he speaking the truth? Let's find out now from our guests. I'm going to start with you, Kenny, because I know that Tendai would agree with the police minister there about his statements. Is it that meter taxi guys are just trying to get in the way of progress? Tell me a little bit about Yookoo Ride and what you're going to do and perhaps change, and then kind of contextualize this for us.
Firstly, I want to say thank you. It's a humbling opportunity for us to be here. Yookoo Ride is a technology. We're a technology company. But what we've actually done, we saw the plight of the Meter Taxi Association, and we said they need a solution. And when we looked at it, we saw that the entire industry itself needed to be overhauled in the manner in which they approach their business. Their cars are old. The drivers needed training. All these are factors that need to be taken into account when we approach them. So we had to set up these different, not industries, these different ways of being able to train them, being able to prepare them, their mindset, their etiquette, how are they customer care wise. These are issues that, and it'll take time because there's a lot of them. There are different groups. So how do we go about this? So we approached them, we spoke to them, we said, listen, we will provide you with the application. First and foremost, it's a technology built here in this country. The IP doesn't rest anywhere else, it rests right here. We are proud of that fact. So we said, being proud in South Africa, let us come and partner together. It isn't right for you to fight against these people in the manner in which you've been fighting. Fight with the technology itself. So when you listen to the remarks being made by the minister there, it's simply one of lack of understanding in terms of what we provide. You're providing technology. Yes, Uber has come and opened their eyes and created a market. It does not mean that they are lawful, though. This is where the issue comes in. You must understand something. Meter taxis are operated under the auspices of government. There are permits that need to be purchased. There are other regulations that need to be followed. As far as Uber is concerned, it is not being followed. So it's fair enough for us to have the rhetoric and to have the conversation and laughter at the end of the day. But the truth of the matter is people's lives have been affected. So we want to restore parity, and the technology is there to restore parity, but at the same time to compete, as it's been suggested.
Okay, all right. Tendai, you're an Uber driver.
Yeah.
He's saying that the problem with Uber is that you guys don't have to abide by regulations. You're not regulated, that the meter taxi drivers have to. That's hardly fair competition, though, is it?
First of all, I want to thank you for inviting us. I think this conversation is necessary because, you know, lives are being at stake right now. We have lost a lot of Uber drivers, and a lot of incidents have been happening around the country. And you see, Uber has been here now for 4 years. In August, it will be 4 years. So when it came into the market, they brought a good product where drivers are vetted, criminal record are checked, and the product, when we came in as entrepreneurs.
There's nothing wrong with the product. I think everybody agrees. The issue is you getting unfair treatment in terms of you being treated unfair advantage, essentially.
Yes.
That you don't have to abide by regulations that taxi drivers have to.
Uber and the transport department, they've been having engagements since they've realized that Uber is actually adding up to the economy. And as you are aware, we are living in fear even when we are driving.
All right, we'll talk about the tactics in a moment. I just want to clear that you agree that it's not a level playing field.
Yes, I agree on that.
All right, so that's problematic.
Yes, it's very problematic.
All right, do you think you should be regulated in the same way as the meter taxi drivers are?
It's up to the government, you know, and I think we need to be, every industry has to be regulated.
Okay,
you know?
All right, let me turn to you now. You can't be burning cars.
Absolutely not. We are against it. We do not condone it. Violence we do not condone. That's the reason why we stepped into the fray to begin with. We want to observe law and order. We want to make sure that the industry itself flourishes. These are the same guys who drove us through 2010. These are the guys, when Nelson Mandela was released, who drove parliamentarians and ministers. So they have a certain sense of pride about the industry that has been really taken away from them by technology. So we said to them, listen, we come to educate you. You need this. They have come with an idea, fantastic. But they've come as a parallel industry. And that is a problem. It has not been the fact that of the technology. It has been a fact or the manner in which they have gone about operating. That has been the issue.
We have to take a quick break. And when we come back, we'll continue to explore this feud between meter taxi drivers and Uber drivers. Stay with us for that.